We're going to talk all about electrolytes. What are they? Why they are important? How do I get them? All that jazz. Hey y'all, hey, it's Erica with Time to Shrink. So today we're going to talk all about electrolytes. All right. Remember we had talked about macronutrients and what those were and why they're important and how to figure out what ours are and all of that stuff. We figured out our protein, we figured out our fat, we figured out our carbs, how much to have, where to get it from. We've already done that. The next thing we're going to talk about is our electrolytes. So I've got my little notes here, so I may look down sometimes. But electrolytes, basically it's just water-soluble nutrients. And that word water-soluble is really important, because when we are on keto, our body is starting to get into ketosis. One of the things that happens is you will notice you're peeing all the freaking time. Whether you're hydrating well or not, you're going to be peeing. When you're in ketosis, your body starts dumping fluid out. The fluid that has caused you to be inflamed, that extra fluid in your joints, the extra fluid in your bloaty belly, the extra fluid in your swollen ankles or your puffy legs. Your body starts diuresing that, meaning peeing it all out, which is a really good thing. And part of the reason you start to feel better in the long run on ketosis, because all of that inflammation, which was literally storing extra fluid in your body, you're getting rid of all of that. But in the process of getting rid of all of that, your body flushes out water-soluble micronutrients. Micronutrients are your vitamins and your minerals. And the ones that are water-soluble, you can tend to pee out in this process. Now, there are 3 primary micronutrients that get flushed out that are important for us to try and figure out how to supplement. So have you heard of the keto flu? You feel achy, you can be headachy, you can have diarrhea, or you can have constipation. You're just not feeling good. Some people get really bad headaches, muscle cramps, but it's avoidable. If we know this is going to happen in this process, that we're going to flush out these micronutrients, if we regulate these to start with, you're likely not going to have any keto flu symptoms at all. The 3 that we need are the sodium, the magnesium, and the potassium. We're going to talk about all of those. Sodium, you need about 5,000, which is about double the FDA requirement, or the FDA, RDA, whatever, I'm blanking. They say we need about 2,500, so you need about double when you're in ketosis. So sodium would be 5,000. Magnesium, we need about 300 milligrams to 700 milligrams. And truthfully, most Americans are a little low on magnesium without even knowing it. And then potassium, 1,000, a minimum of 1,000 a day, up to about 3,500. Potassium is one that if you get too much can have really, really detrimental effects to cardiac. So potassium is something we have to be super careful about supplementing, and we'll talk about that later. Then also you need to get a minimum of 64 ounces of water a day. We really need to hydrate during this time, okay? Because remember, your body's diuresing, peeing out all that extra, so we need to replenish. Okay, so sodium is the most important and the most likely keto flu culprit. So if you're feeling headachy, it's probably sodium. If you're feeling dizzy, it's probably sodium. Where do I get sodium? I suggest Himalayan sea salt. That is absolutely my favorite. There's also other salts, other sea salts. Just make sure you're getting a quality sea salt. I would actually tell you to go get your scale, put a little baggie on your scale, zero it out, pour sodium in it until you get the little rock salt, Himalayan salt. Pour that into your little baggie until it reads 10 grams. 10 grams of weight is about 5,000 milligrams of salt, okay? So that's one way you can do it. You fill that little baggie up, and then that right there, that's how much salt you need to eat today, okay? You can put it on all your food, you can put it under your tongue, you can dissolve some in water, but you need to get all of that in every day. That's your amount. This little container here, y'all, this is Malden sea salt flakes. This is the one I like to keep either by my bed or carry with me. So if I get a headache or if I start feeling dizzy, I can put this right under my tongue. If you put it under your tongue and let it dissolve, it helps with the symptoms really, really quickly. I love this stuff. Got this on Amazon. It's like $4 for this little container. It comes full of sea salt flakes, but you can just refill it. I ordered a few of them so I can have them in different places. That's kind of a lot, and people look at you crazy when you're putting all that salt in every day, all the time. So another way you can do it is some Soleil water. Grab it. This is my Soleil water. If y'all have followed me for very long, you've heard me talk about it. It's chemically fully saturated. So 1 tablespoon of this water is 1,434 grams of sodium. But the great thing about Himalayan sea salt and Soleil water is there's 84 trace minerals. So you're actually getting some magnesium and potassium from this also. So taking a couple tablespoons of this a day is really, really good. You can put it into a Ketorade, which we'll talk later how to make a Ketorade. You can put it into water a few times a day. I do not suggest, if you have had weight loss surgery anytime in the recent past, shooting it. Some people just shoot it a couple times a day, just shoot it with some water behind it. It burns the crap out of your new stomach. And don't ask me how I know that. Oh my gosh, y'all, I thought I was gonna die. So I don't suggest shooting it. So a couple tablespoons of this a day is great. Another thing is a Zip Fizz. Zip Fizz has some sodium naturally, so you can use a combination of these things. Next is magnesium. The goal is 300 to 700, and if you are having achy, heavy legs, if you're having insomnia, if you're having constipation, headaches are another one with magnesium too. If you're having any of these things, probably low on magnesium, but also many people are low anyways. So if you have some of these symptoms, you may have just not realized you were low on magnesium. Magnesium is one that I suggest everyone supplement. There's a few types of magnesium that I do not want you to buy. So if you're going to the drugstore, you're picking up some magnesium, Erica said to get some magnesium, here's what not to buy. Do not buy magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is just not very absorbable. You're wasting your money. It's going to go right through you. And then magnesium citrate. Magnesium citrate is something that we use in the healthcare world if we need to clear out your colon. Like before colonoscopy, mag citrate is the stuff that you drink. So that causes major diarrhea. So don't go buy mag citrate because you'll be really mad at me. So here's what you do want to look for. There's 2 types. There's one that I suggest the most, but there's 2. Magnesium malate. And what that does is it gives you your magnesium with the side effect of some better energy. People will say, I take this and I have more energy. And that could be very true with this. So that's a possibility. The one that I tend to recommend the most, because it goes along with the symptoms that people have with magnesium being low, is called magnesium glycinate. It is a relaxer. It relaxes your muscles. It makes you sleepy. It helps with insomnia. It's just delightful. My favorite brand is called Natural Calm. You can take it in pill form. I like the one called Natural Calm. You dissolve it in water and it just tastes like a little raspberry lemonade. I think they have different flavors, but I really, really like it. I personally take it every other night because the Zip Fizz that I have daily also has magnesium, and that tends to work for me, but you've got to find where the balance is for you. Okay, and then potassium. Potassium is the last one. Now, potassium has some warning, warning, warning. You do not want to take too much potassium. Too much potassium will have cardiac events happening. Potassium comes in so many of the things that you eat, y'all. If you're low on potassium, you're likely to see cramps or palpitations. Some people, when they have the keto flu, will get palpitations where they literally feel like their heart's beating out of their chest. Generally, that means that they're very low on potassium. Most people don't end up with that symptom. Most of us are not low on potassium because so much of the food we eat has potassium. A normal keto person, I would not suggest supplementing potassium really, but those of us in the weight loss surgery world, we can only eat so much, right? So you're only eating so much potassium. So you may need to supplement a little bit. I suggest tracking for a few days to a week. And again, the Chronometer app is one of my faves. It will show you how much potassium you're getting every single day and what you eat. You can click on the potassium, and it shows you where you got your potassium in each of your foods. Chronometer is just amazing. And if you're not getting 1,000, then I would add in a little bit of potassium. You can get potassium from Zip Fizz. I have 1 Zip Fizz a day, and that's all the potassium supplement supplementation that I personally need. If you don't want to try the Zip Fizz, another way to supplement your potassium is no salt. No salt is a salt substitute that literally tastes like salt, but it's made up of potassium, and it has 640 milligrams per 1/4 of a teaspoon. So if you are going to make a Ketodiet drink, which we'll talk about in a bit, this is an ingredient that can go into it. You also can put this on some of your foods throughout the day. Again, you would need to measure your amounts and track it, because potassium we do not want too much of, right? So, like I said, most of us don't need additional potassium, but some of us weight loss surgery patients will need a little bit more. So let's wrap it up. What is the easiest way to get all of this stuff in? In my opinion, Zip Fizz. Y'all know I love my Zip Fizz. Love my Zip Fizz. Zip Fizz. Zip Fizz. All right, Zip Fizz. It's awesome. Zip Fizz is full of B vitamins, so it's supplementing our B vitamins, which is something as weight loss patients we need to supplement anyways. It has 2,500 B12, so that's some energy, helps with energy. It has some vitamin C, it has some calcium. Magnesium, it has 100 milligrams. Potassium, it has 950, y'all. You're gonna hit your potassium minimum just with this. Sodium, it has 75 milligrams of sodium. So you get a little bit of sodium with this. You're still going to need to supplement your sodium. You're still going to need to supplement your magnesium. If you have one of these a day, this is your potassium, y'all. You don't need another supplementation of potassium, okay? So one of these a day plus some salt. So, Soleil water. So there's lots of ways that we can get in all of this stuff, and then the natural calm also. Then the last thing is the Ketodiet. I'm going to tell you how to make some Ketodiet, okay? If you would like to make a drink for your supplement and you don't want to go the Zip Fizz route, the Zip Fizz is about $1 per thing. So they do add up. For me, I just see it as part of my supplementation, $30 a month, it's fine. But if you want to make your own, there's a couple different ways. So you get a glass, like a glass mason jar or something, and you are going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon up to 1/2 teaspoon of no salt. I suggest just a fourth. A 1/4 teaspoon of no salt has 640 milligrams of potassium, which really should be plenty for supplementing because you're getting it from your food too. So a 1/4 of this, and then you've made your Soleil water. You're going to put a tablespoon of this. So a tablespoon of Soleil water, a 1/4 teaspoon of this. That's your base for this. You're going to fill up the rest of your jar or cup with water, and I suggest doing this in like at least 12 ounces of water because you're wanting to dilute it. And then you would add a squeeze of half a lemon or half a lime or some essential oil drops of that. doTERRA is one that you can actually ingest. And then 5 to 10 drops of stevia to sweeten it up. Some people also will put up to a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in this. Just mix it all up and you drink it. Some people like to mix it with like a mineral water, but if you don't do carbonation because of weight loss surgery, just mix it with regular filtered water. Stir it up, drink it. I don't really like it. People say it's an acquired taste. Some people really like it. So try it and see what you think. I personally am going to stick with the Zip Fizz. Another way to do it is a 1/4 of this, 1/4 teaspoon of this, a tablespoon of this, just like the other one. Then add your water, and then add water enhancer. So whatever your favorite water enhancers are, as long as they're no carb, do some squirts of that, mix it up, and that is perfectly fine. You also could add your natural calm white to this, and then that would give you all of your supplementation. The natural calm has a really good raspberry lemonade type flavor, so it really could go with this. And you know, it does relax you a little bit, but it's not gonna put you to sleep. It's just relaxing. So those are your options for how to get it in. If you have any questions about this, please hit me up. Put it in the comments. If you're seeing this in my Facebook group, you know, we can easily talk through there. You can direct message me if you need to, or just talk through the group. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, we have a bariatric keto support Facebook group, and I will link that down below. But we'd love to have you join us. It's just a safe space for support. The biggest rule is you must be kind. I will block anybody and everybody that's not kind. No food police. We're there for support. There are lots of different ways to achieve ketosis, and we are there to support each other. Anyways, if you'd like to join us, that would be awesome. If you're new to me and this is your